Hey, there we go. Welcome to Friday evening and to Echoes Reloading Chamber. Tonight we have Lowballing Outdoors on as our special guest and our co-host AR Gun 1776. Um, just wanted to welcome everybody to the show, and I see a bunch of names I recognize. I just want to tell everybody in the side chat, thank you very much for showing up. And AR, why don't you go ahead and take us into the show, brother?
Hey guys, appreciate you being here, lowballing. It's good to have you on. Good to meet you,
Hey,
and appreciate you being on tonight, Echo, and us doing this thing that we do. Glad to see you all in the side chat. Appreciate you joining in. I'll go ahead and call you out right quick. Got lowballing over here. Got Chris from the 740 over here. Good to see you, Chris. Tim S is with us. Quest for the perfect load. Hey Zach. Uncle John's with us. Michael Hurtnick. O1 guy's with us. James Pollard's with us. He just jumped in. Appreciate it. Then take it away, Echo.
Yes, sir. Um, yeah, so basically, I came across Lowballing's channel, and I saw it and I watched a few of the videos, and I'm like, hey, I'd like to help this guy out and bring him into our community so that he can get to know me and AR and all of us, and that way we can get to know him and he can get to know us, and we can possibly go over and check out his channel and some of his video content and see what he's doing with firearms and reloading. So basically, lowballing. What is your channel about?
man, my channel is about just going out having a good time, whether it's hunting, fishing, reloading. It doesn't really matter. Just get out there and have a good time. I do a lot of hunting stuff. I do a lot of reloading, but I primarily do a lot of shooting, like bench rest stuff, freehand stuff, whatever. But it's basically just getting outside.
Yeah. Now, I was noticing in some of your videos that you do some hunting mentoring, where I hear you referring to taking maybe first time shooters, first time hunters out into the woods for their first time hunt. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh yeah. So I don't put a lot of hunting stuff on YouTube because I do a lot of that stuff. Like last year, I only got to hunt one day by myself. But I do a lot of taking kids out because I love taking kids because I was once that kid, that wanted to go out. So I'll take them. This year, I took a full grown man. He was 28 years old, never really shot a gun, and he was kind of interested in it. So I says, well, come on down the range with me. Here's my 270. Let's punch a few holes in some paper. Well, it hooked him, and he said, okay. He went and bought a mentor tag and his deer tag, and we kind of went out. We sat in the woods until dark. He didn't see anything, but he was the last days. Deer have already been shot at, so they're already spooked anyways. But he had a good time, and next year he's itching to go again. So I think I'm going to start taking him squirrel hunting to get him more of a woodsman because it is his first time.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Bringing a new sportsman into the woods and a new Second Amendment person that's going to be purchasing a firearm, most likely very soon. And then once he gets his first deer, oh boy, he's done.
For
I
sure.
remember the first one I shot. I was so excited. I didn't know I just remember the gun safety, keeping the muzzle aware of where the muzzle was, but I was shaking like a leaf because I was so adrenalized. I was like, I just kept looking at my dad like, can we go and look at it yet? And my dad's like, we're not going to go chasing it just yet. He's like, go ahead and set the gun on he's like, set the gun down in the tree stand. And I'm setting it down, and he's like, just relax. We're going to wait here for a little while, for about 30 minutes, and then we'll go and see. And yeah, so I remember that. So that's exciting, and being able to bring young people out to do that is amazing, and new shooters. So I applaud you for that. That's a really cool thing to do, and something really neat to mentor young people and bringing them out in the woods and getting them interested in doing things out in the outdoors. So so you said that you do some wildcatting. And that's kind of interesting to me because I do a lot of precision rifle loading, and basically, so wildcatting is neat. I've had loaded a few wildcats for a couple of fellas that do them, including the 458 SOCOM.
Joke.
Yeah, listen. We won't talk about ex-girlfriends. No, we're not gonna.
Wildcats. Go ahead, man. Sorry.
No, but I do love to do some oddball cartridges. Those are my favorite because you just can't go buy them off the shelf, and you actually have to put in the work and the time with them. Like I just got done with a 6x45. It's a bolt gun. I know they make a lot of AR stuff, but bolts are a little different because you can get more accurate with them, in my opinion, which I might get a little bit of hate for that one, but bolts are just what it is. They don't have to worry about gas. One down the hole, and that's all you need.
Yeah. Oh, it's I've loaded for a lot of AR-15s, and you can get good accuracy out of an 308 or an AR-10, LR-308 or AR-10 platform, or even a really nice AR-15, but you are not going to get bolt action accuracy. You just got too many moving parts.
Yep. And it's not taken away from that stuff. I'm not a real AR guy. I mean, I don't have nothing against them or anything, but it's just not my speed. There's something about the simplicity of a bolt action rifle that when you pull back that slide and rack another one in there, that's all there is. There's no going to be misfires or jams. It's going to be one of that being said, probably my favorite one that I've been messing with here lately is a 338-06. That's 30-06 case. You bump it up, stick a big old bullet in it.
So what grain bullet are you running in that?
Mostly 225s to 250s.
Oh, wow.
So I'll do nozzler. I shoot some nozzlers, but usually it's SSTs because those are the cheapest. Let's be real here.
Yes. I've heard that from a couple other 338 guys that shoot the Lapua Magnum as the SST, the Hornady bullets. And as well as the 7.62x39, the Lapua SSTs are great bullets for that cartridge as well, and for hunting. So you're doing this 338-06. What type of accuracy are you able to get out of that cartridge?
Well, so a lot of the stuff I do is I like to call them parent loads, where I can just switch bullets and keep the powder charges all the same. So I try to blend as much as I can to get better than 1 inch. So I shoot a lot of RL-15. I just love that powder. For whatever reason, it just kind of stuck with me when I started. And I buy it all the time, or when I can find it. I haven't found it in like 2 years. But I can get one hole accuracy in the right about when it's like 70 degrees. But when it drops down into like the, let's say 20s or 10s, it will open up to maybe a half an inch. And I'm going to call that good enough for the stuff I do.
Oh, yeah, that's extremely good. Is that 100 yards shooting?
Yes, sir. I put out 4 or 5 videos just on that. And the first one was just introducing the rifle and the testing I've been doing with it. And it is pretty interesting. I've had a lot of people like it. I've got 4 people that give me a thumbs down. I'm kind of irritated with them, and I'd like to know who they are. So if you're one of them, you can talk after the show.
That's funny. So now So you're doing the 338-06. What other Wildcat cartridges do you do, brother?
Just the two for now, the 645
Oh,
and the 338-06. Um, I do mess with one of my buddy's rifles, but I don't like to talk about everybody else's stuff, you know.
yeah.
But I live where I live. There's a bunch of people around me that kind of know who I am, and so I'm always reloading for them, and I'm figuring out their rifles and stuff. So it's just kind of a little community of my friends and stuff that we all get together and go to the range and stuff.
Oh, okay. So you reload. What cartridges are you currently loading for?
Oh wow. 223, 22, 250, 308, 270, 30-06, 338-06, 6x45. Trying to look at my dies. I got a whole stack of them over there, you know. Creedmoor 6.5. We're going to say that's it for right now, but I'm sure there's a few that I forgot.
Yeah. Do you do any pistol ammunition?
You know, I never have done pistols. For the simple fact is I could always go to the store and get them. But I think I'm going to start really reloading for 357 here shortly. Because I haven't seen 357 in forever.
Yeah, I understand that, man. 38 special 357. That stuff is just like looking for a ghost in like one of those empty warehouses. That is very, very hard to locate for some reason, and it was so readily available before. That's why when you go out and you look for 357 Magnum or 38 Special, the guys look at you like, yeah, I haven't seen that in a while, man. And you're like, great.
Yeah, and the only kind of stuff you can find is that critical defense stuff. But I ain't about spending $5 a bullet on something. Because I said, mostly I do hunting stuff, and I live in southern Missouri, and our alternative season, you're allowed to use pistols, and well, I guess you could throw a rock at them if you want to, but I've always wanted to get one with a pistol, but you know, alternative season comes after rifle season. Everything's pretty skittish by then, so.
And you got to get so close with a pistol, you might as well be in bow season. That's why, that's kind of weird how they would throw a pistol after rifle season, because they're probably do it on purpose. They're like, hey, we're going to make it really hard. That way these guys that are able to actually get a doe or a buck during alternative season, that they're going to be like, hey, I got this doe that weighed 68 pounds. People are going to be like, oh my gosh, that's a monster. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody can hit anything after rifle season, because you go out there and look after rifle season, you can't find a doe or a buck to save your life. But it's like 3 days after rifle season's over with. It's like sometimes like if there's no other season after it, you'll see deer like in your yard. Walk, you know, you're like, where were you a week ago? You know, as soon as they hear the gunfire stop, they know the season's over, and they're like, oh, we can go back out in the woods now.
Yep, for sure.
So you're in Missouri, where Larry Potterfield's Midway USA is. How far from Midway are you?
He's about 2.5 hours from me. I'm like kind of where, you know, Springfield, Branson is. It's real southern part of Missouri, but that's where I'm at, kind of close to Bull Shoals.
Okay. Yeah.
What about it?
So have you ever been to Midway?
I never have.
You never have.
Larry has such great, you know, shipping, and half the time it's free, that I just click the buttons and it comes to my house like 2 days from now.
Yeah, I'm sure his shipping gets there really quick. You're probably like you place the order. It's faster than Amazon.
Does he have a storefront? I don't think he has a storefront.
Yes, no, he does. He does have a storefront.
Mostly called a catalog, like shipping, you know.
And I ain't never been to the Sierra plant that's up here either, and that's like 2.5 hours away from me as well. And
Oh, wow.
everybody's always told me you need to go because they got like big barrels full of just loose bullets. You can just scoop them out, and they do them by the pound up there. I don't know if it's still like that, but I ain't never been there either.
Oh, wow. That would be awesome. If you could do that, I'd be like, hey, can I back my truck up to the front door? And we just we'll vacuum this stuff up with
For
big
sure.
shop vacs. Sierra's awesome. I shoot a lot of Sierra bullets.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Me too.
So what is basically you do a lot of outdoor stuff and you do a lot of fishing as well. What type of fishing do you guys do?
I grew up in a little town called Hartville. So that's like a 300-person town whenever I was there. And the Gasconade River wraps all the way around that thing. And so my favorite, and it's primarily because I grew up on a creek, is just creek fishing. You put on a pair of shorts and you just kind of wade the creeks and you fish for goggle eye. Northerners probably know them as rock bass, but down Southerners call them goggle eye. And so bass, smallmouth is one of my favorite things to catch, but goggle eye always has a special place to me just because of being a kid, growing up on these creeks. We took a trip to Florida, caught a few things. I'm sorry, go ahead, man.
Oh, wait, you said you went to Florida?
Yes. So that was probably it's been a long time, I guess now. I caught my very first ocean fish on our trip to Florida. I thought it was cool as all get out, but apparently the locals thought I was ridiculous because it was a remora, and I never seen anything like it. And this big fish that stick to the side of sharks. And I caught a 5-pound one that was about 3 foot long, and I was like, "Oh man, this is the coolest thing in the world." And they're like, "That's a remora, dude. That's a trash fish to them."
Yeah. Yeah, those fish usually just they cut the line right at the fish and just drop it back in the ocean.
Yo.
So you've been to Florida. Now, when did you exactly get into reloading? When did you pull your first handle? How did you get into it? Did you have a friend, family member, or how exactly did you get into reloading?
So reloading was cool because I've always wanted to do it. I've always been like, man, that is so cool because I knew somebody that reloaded in my past, and I always thought it was so cool because they could get bullet holes to actually go in the same hole. And with factory ammunition, you cannot do it. I don't care whether you run a match, whatever, it doesn't matter. It just can't happen. As consistent, every once in a while you'll get one that will. But fast forward probably about 10 years ago or so, my buddy Mike, he got into it because I'm a mechanic in real life, not YouTube life. He was over at his toolbox and he was into it and he was building some bullets and going to go to the range. And I says, dude, you got to show me how to do that one day. So he come over to my area and was like, okay, pull up Midway and we'll get you set up. So opened up Midway, and I was on the fence about doing it at first because I'm like, man, I don't got all the stupid time to do this stuff because it is time consuming and it is expensive, especially to get started. So I brought one of those, a Hornady hand press for they were $30 back then, just to try it. And then I bought some 223 dies, and I'm like, well, if I can get my 223 to shoot better, let's just do that. My coyote gun. So after I went to the range, I was using XBR, and I don't know if y'all are familiar with XBR, but XBR is a great powder, the 8208.
Oh, yeah.
I loaded up 9 different variations in half-grain increments with Mike's help. And I tell you what, they went from 1 inch down to I could cover 5 shots with a dime, and I was hooked then. I probably loaded like that for about 2 years, and eventually I got tired of sitting there going crunch, crunch, crunch. So I went and bought a Lee Challenger press, and that's been the story. I mean, I've had that for a long time, and I just love it. It gets addicting because you try one powder. I bought that XPR because I kind of was looking at stuff with him because he knew what he was doing. And I was like, I don't know. I'll get whatever you say, He's like, pick that because that stuff can load a bunch of stuff that calibers that I had. So I said, okay. And I got addicted real fast. So then I bought like 4 pounds of it. And then I started trying other stuff. My 308 Bagheera, loved it. I think I put 9 rounds in the same hole with it. And then from then on, it was like, well, this is it. Then XBR went off the shelves. Like everybody started buying it because they found out it was great. So then I got switched over to RL15. And there's something about RL15 that I love. And I don't know what it is. It's not the most accurate powder in the world, but it's just something about it that I really, really like.
Yeah, I have the same type of affair with Varget.
Yes.
Me and Varget get along really well, and it seems to work in a lot of rifle. Wow, just kind of lost my voice there. It work in a lot of different rifle calibers, so it's kind of a universal type of powder, and I like it in 308. I get a lot of good results with that. But there's a lot of other powders I use as well. That just happens to be one of my favorites. So, but now, so that's how you got into reloading. And how long ago was that?
I want to say it was right around 10 years ago. So decade,
Okay.
if you will. I've been doing it a while.
Right.
I first started off being like super shaky where you're just like, oh my gosh, whatever's written in the book, that's what we got to do. And then as soon as you start Wildcat and that book kind of goes.
Yeah, you got to kind of come up with your own load data.
Yep.
Yeah, I excuse me, dying over here. Basically, wildcats are some pretty neat things to do because when you load for wildcats, you discover the round and then you start loading for it and you're kind of experimenting. I've got a couple of friends. Julio is Oceans 374. He's got a new I think I want to say it's a 375 Raptor.
Sweet.
But I may be mistaken on that. If he's in the audience, maybe he can tune in on that. He may be, he may not be, but or one of the guys might be able to that knows what he's got. I want to say it was a 375, but I might be mistaken. But yeah, that's what I like about Wild Jack. Yeah. Can I speak tonight? I'm like having a little problem here. I mean, did I just have like I'm tasting aluminum. I'm like, did I just have like a micro stroke? I'm like,
oh no.
No, I'm just kidding. AR, save me, man. What's going on? What week are
Just
we
listening,
in?
man. Pardon? Oh, Christmas. Nah, kidding.
It's Christmas again. Yeah. Somebody give me a rifle. I gotta bring down Santa. I need some gifts. So yeah, brother. But anyways, I lost my train of thought there, but that's funny. So basically, so you've been reloading for about 10 years and basically you like doing Wildcat cartridges and basically developing loads for them and stuff like that. And you do a lot of hunting and a lot of hunting loading for hunting, I'm guessing.
For sure.
Yeah, in coyote. So you do, what types of hunting do you do? I'm guessing you do whitetail.
Oh yeah, whitetail. Okay, so growing up a poor kid from, southern Missouri, I like to do squirrel hunting. Probably is one of my most favorites because you don't have to be quiet. You can do whatever you want, and squirrels still show up.
So that's what you started with when you were younger, was squirrel hunting?
Yes, that was my very first hunting experience was squirrel hunting. And it just kind of hooked me when I was a kid, So in turn, that's what I started my kids on, and since they were in diapers, they've been out in the woods, learn how to read the sign of where stuff is and tracking and the whole 9 yards.
That's awesome. So you do mentoring programs, and how did you get into that? Do you have like the 4-H or anything like that, or do you just how do you meet the young people that you mentor and show?
So like I live in a tiny town and everybody kind of knows everybody.
Oh, okay.
So it's not really like people from long ways away, but it'll be people just that know me. It's like, hey, he's thinking about going hunting. I'm like, let's take him to the range. We'll let him get used to shooting, And so them and their dad or whoever, will come to the range and we'll just kind of have a good time. Definitely big on gun safety, like 100%. You got to be able to do this first. With my kids, I started them with a stick. I was like, you make sure that stick's pointed the right way, and the next we'll move you to a BB gun. And, 4 years old, my kids walking through the woods, all big shot with a stick. Then we go up from there,
Oh, yeah. That's funny you should say that, because I remember the muzzle with the BB gun. My dad started us all out with BB guns when we were little. So you do that. Now, have you ever considered maybe doing helping vets, maybe disabled vets, and bringing them out in your community?
Well, so I live in Missouri, and I think Tim keeps telling me he's from Mansfield, which is awesome. Hey, buddy, how's it going? We're like kind of neighbors, even though Hartville and Mansfield people generally don't get along. Yeah, he'll know what I'm talking about. So Missouri has programs through the conservation department for that. So if you're a veteran, you wish to do that, or you're disabled, or there's like tons of programs that MDC already does, and they're all free. You just reach out to them, and so they kind of got everybody covered in that aspects that wish to do that. It is pretty neat. Even if you're like disabled, like wheelchair disabled, they got some cool stuff where you're like sitting a track chair that actually goes through the woods, and they got a couple of those for folks. And I know at least one or two people do that a year. So that is pretty cool that they have all that.
That's awesome, man. That's a good community program that you guys have for that. So you're more or less helping kids out that maybe don't have an older person to show them, or maybe young people that don't have a firearm or don't have any type of woods experience, and you're just getting them into shooting and then getting them into the woods.
Yep, that's about right, because there's a lot of folks that are moving to Missouri that don't really have any experience. A couple of years ago, I had a deer hanging in a tree that I was field dressing, and somebody from California moved in next to me, and they were a little bit appalled at this whole situation. But after living next to them for a few years, they kind of eased their way into, maybe shooting wouldn't be so bad,
That's awesome. Because usually you hear people from California moving into more free states, as I like to call them, and they bring their kind of their beliefs with them, and that's a good thing that they would be slowly turned to where they might be interested in going out and trying hunting. That's just like a big plus for our side, So basically, how did you get into YouTubing?
Well, that was kind of a spur of the moment thing, I guess. Of course, like everybody else, I always watch YouTube all the time, just, watching the latest Demolition Ranch video or whatever, But my buddy last year, deer season, he's like, hey, we should start filming some of our adventures, because my buddy and me have like this really big personality that we kind of do a bunch of dumb stuff. And it's like, hey, that'd be fun. So I committed. I went and bought a camera. It got shipped to the house, and then we kind of started. So
Awesome. That's awesome.
that's
So
kind of how that started.
So you guys just decided out of the blue, because you're two jokesters and you like doing things together and going on little adventures, and you decided to record it and make it so that you guys would have like a little documentary of what you are up to and what you're doing.
Oh yeah, yeah. Of course,
And from there,
like,
you went
life
in.
happens.
Yeah, right. Life happens, but and from that you got in. Was it you got into? You were doing the mentoring already, or was that after?
I've always done it. If a kid wants to go, whether and the parents know me, I have like a lot of cool stuff. I have to know the parents well, and a lot of times their dad or their mom or whoever, or most of their dads come with me, or maybe a couple of people, but yeah, that's about it. I kind of do it all the time.
That's amazing, man. I know from just saying thank you, for what you give back to the community and stuff that you live in. We need more people like you in our communities, teaching youngsters how to hunt, fish, and camp, and just spend more time in the outdoors and get them off the cell phones and get them back into the good old outdoors and enjoying Mother Nature. I can't tell you enough that, we need a heck of a lot more people getting people back into these crafts and these way of life, because the hunting and the shooting and everything, we need more people teaching people about it, because if not, these skills are perishable and we'll lose them. So I really appreciated and enjoyed having you on the show to cover, this, to cover the topic of what you're doing and with what you're doing with your channel. Now, what do you see your channel in about 5 years? Where do you see it going?
I don't put much thought in that. I do stuff because I want to, because I like to. I don't do anything I don't want to do.
Right.
So I don't see myself ever not liking guns or anything. So I'm just going to keep doing whatever it is I'm doing. Of course, that may evolve to something different other than, my old 270 or my Creedmoor or something weird like that, to who knows what'll be up next. But I only do stuff that I want to do.
That's me.
Yeah. So, AR, do you have any idea or any questions you want to ask Lowballer, or are you good, or what?
I'm good.
Just okay.
You're covering most everything.
Yeah. I'm just asking. I thought maybe you might have something that you wanted to ask him, but this is what I see where you're going with doing what you want to do in the YouTube channel and just doing what's fun for you. And I think that's a really, kind of inspiring way. Just, not really having to plan anything, just doing what's coming natural and is fun, and capturing that so that it's like a breath of fresh air, really, to a lot of creators on YouTube, to see guys like yourself get out and just start shooting some footage and acting a fool sometimes and showing people how to do something some other times, how to reload, how to hunt, how to shoot a gun, how to clean a gun. It's a really good experience that I've seen a lot of people enter into, and I'm just glad you're part of it, brother. I really am. Thank you.
Hey man, I think that's what we all should be doing,
thanks.
man. If somebody's interested in it, let's just take them. That's all. It's just time, and it's going to change their life for sure. It will, because when you get outside, man, it's you're one step closer to God, really. I mean,
oh yeah,
you're out there and you're away from all the nonsense that this world has right now. I don't do political stuff on my channel at all. I don't use foul language on my channel. So if a parent has, like a kid watches my stuff, the parents don't have to worry about it. I'm not going to try to feed you with any kind of this way or that way with political nonsense, because this is what I'm doing and I'm having a good time doing it. If you wish to come along with my ride, let's go.
Amen, brother.
Yeah,
amen.
Same way here.
I appreciate you coming on with us tonight, brother. I really do. And I want everybody to check out Lowballing Outdoors channel. In the description box, there is a link to his channel, and on my channel's homepage in the channels button.
And on the side chat.
And on the side chat. Yeah. On my channel's homepage, he is listed under featured channels. And so I just really appreciate you coming on and sharing your experiences with us and your time with us, man. It's very important to me to make sure that we get you introduced to the people we hang out with so they could come and check your channel out and see what content you're putting out. And if you ever get a chance, I'd really like to see some of these younger people and these new people hunting. So if you can, talk to them and see if they wouldn't mind you shooting a little bit of them taking their first deer. That it always brings back memories of me and my father, who's been gone for quite some time now, of squeezing the trigger on that 270 and seeing that deer. And seeing that deer drop. Yeah. And man, it's just, it's that feeling that you get that you just bagged your first buck or your first doe. And that is just a great feeling, and spending all that time out in God's outdoors. And so, yeah, I appreciate it, brother. And thanks for coming on tonight very much. Is there anything that you wanted to include that I left out or anything like that, brother?
Yeah. I do appreciate, first and foremost, y'all having me on. Like, I never heard of Echo's reloading chamber at first, but I started watching a few things, and I kind of see what y'all do. And AR, thanks a lot. You guys are really cool even before the show, just hanging out and talking. I appreciate everybody. And I just now figured out the comment thing. I was on the private chat, but thanks a lot to everybody that was commenting.
I didn't know what to make of it at first.
Yeah, this is my first time streaming like this, so
awesome.
I do appreciate everybody.
We're gonna have you back on
and
get a channel update and see what you're up to. And in a couple of weeks, I'll get back in touch with you, and we'll bring you back on and see what's going on in your life and in doing what you're doing in the channel, brother. I really appreciate it. And after this show, a Georgia Shooting Connection is coming on too, and they have a really good crowd of people. And I'd like to introduce you to the guy that runs the show. His name is Jamie, and JH586, and he is a great guy, and they run a really good show. And I always try to help out everyone and support everyone. So we want to make sure I let you know about that. And I tell you, I appreciate it. I appreciate everyone in the side chat coming. Walter, thank you, brother, for coming in. And Jer Bear, always a pleasure, brother. AR, why don't you, brother, take us out of here this evening and take care of your the people in the side chat for me, brother, and give them a welcome in a goodbye.
Thanks, Echo. If I don't lose my voice again tonight.
I hope not, brother. I hope you do good, better.
I noticed you started doing it.
Yes.
Yeah, great to have you on, Lowballing. Good, nice meeting
y'all
you.
Take care.
Enjoyed it. We're gonna hang in on the backside too.
Yeah, we're gonna hang on, brother.
Here. We appreciate you on the side chat. I'm gonna call you out right quick before we log off. Hang on a minute. DM Fawcett. Wait a minute, my software's acting crazy. Hold on a minute. Well, got a glitch. Everything's in slow-mo, folks.
Okay.
Yeah, it's actually scrolling on its own. Okay, I'll just call a few out here. Michael Hurtnick's here. Andy 79Z28, Uncle John, Quest for the Perfect Load. Appreciate you dropping by, guys. I got software issues right now all of a sudden. I think I had an update on the browser or something. Chris from the 740s here. Appreciate you dropping by, Chris. Tim S. Let me see what happens. Hang on. Old one guys here. Walter Bunning, the one and only Walter Bunning. Check his channel out. Michael, who else? Uncle John. Good to see you, Uncle John. Gun Websites is here. Chris from the 740. DM Foss. Eagle Eye Shooting. How you doing, Eagle? Tim S., which he was in your part of the country.
Yes.
Michael. Tim S. Crazy Gearhead. Appreciate you dropping by over here. Reloader 762. G23 and of course, the troll. Give no notice to the troll. Kingpin, appreciate you dropping by. Excuse me, guys. I tell you, well, I don't know what's going around this winter, but it's killing everybody. Crazy Gear. Appreciate you dropping by, guys. G23. That's Vanessa Kitty. Jesse B. Outdoors. Jason Stewart, as always. He's with us. Walter Bunning, of course. I said that. Bear with me, guys. Let's see. Uncle John, that's it. Appreciate you guys dropping by. You all have a good evening and check out the next show. And great meeting you and enjoyed the show, Echo.
Oh, yeah. Appreciate having you on with us, AR. And I appreciate Lowballin Outdoors. Man, we're going to check back in with you in a couple weeks and see how you're doing out there and see what's going on with the YouTube. And with that, I will say thank you very much to everyone in the side chat. We appreciate you coming out and checking us out. And have a very good evening tonight, everyone. And have a happy Friday. Y'all have a good one. And God bless. Good night.